Brad, would you lead us in prayer?
Most kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we do thank you this day, Lord, and we just thank you for all your many blessings in life, Father. Father, we just ask, Lord, that you would just be with us tonight, Lord, and you would just lead, guide, and direct us in the way that you want to go, Father. Father, let us always be concerned for everybody else, Father. Father, we ask now that you just go with us and everything we do. In Jesus' name, we do pray. Amen.
Daddy, pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is approve the minutes for July the 20th and 22nd. Got a motion, got a second, all vote. None opposed. Approve all financials under your motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second, all vote. Ms. Martha Powell, the library update.
Hi.
Hello.
I have my voice today, so I'm not actually understanding what I'm saying. This is Joan Manson. I wanted to drag her along today so you can meet her. She is your county librarian. We're going to a county librarian model, so you'll have a librarian in each of the counties we serve, and she's yours. So we're super excited about it. She's been with the region since 2011 and in public libraries in general for 29 years. Of course, she started very young. She was a prodigy. So anyway, do you have your business card? Yes, I do. She'll give you your business card so you can contact her directly should you have any concerns directly pertaining to the Jeff Davis County Library. And of course, Mr. Faulkner, try to get a hold of me.
Yes, I do.
Joan has given you my update. These have the 2014 and 2015 numbers, so you can see how much we've grown in the past year. All of our numbers are up, so yay, that means people are using the library, and we hope that you feel that we're putting your funding contribution to good use. Some of the things I wanted to mention that came up, my board chair, Andy Remay, and Suzanne Gaynor, who's our regional board chair, also from Jeff Davis, met with Mr. Falk earlier this summer, and we were talking about some of the programs we had at the library that apparently is not common knowledge. I assume everybody knows that we offer, but sadly this is not the case. So we're trying to do a better job of making sure that information gets out there. Some of the programs we have what we call family fun passes. You can get a pass for a family of 4, or if just you and your wife, it's up to 4 people, to the Atlanta Zoo for free. All you have to do is come to the library and we'll tell you how you can get that information. We also have a puppetry pass. I don't know if you're familiar with the Center of Puppetry Arts, which is my personal favorite. If you're a fan of Muppets, Jim Henson, Sesame Street. All right, now we see some familiar faces. Well, the Center for Puppetry Art features, it was Jim Henson's legacy. When he died, he left all of his Muppets and creations at that museum, and we also have a pass to get into that and see a puppet show for free, which is very exciting. And they have a life-size Big Bird, so you know, there's very famous Muppets there as well. Actually, technically, Big Bird was not a Muppet. Did you know that? I found that out the hard way. Anyway, it's a shame, but you know, something to look forward to. Maybe you can join the Muppets at some point in the future. We also have Georgia State Park passes, and what that covers is free parking, and again, admission for up to 4 people. So you can check all these out at your library. They're kind of alternative services. So we're trying to go beyond just the printed book, although we still have tons of those. We also have ebooks and downloadable audiobooks, which again is not a service that people typically associate with the library, but again, with your library card, you have access to those things. The Go Fish, is it a museum center?
No, well, with that end, you can go fishing.
Yes, and Macon. So it's not quite Macon. It's a little south of Macon, but it's called the Go Fish Center. It was something the former Governor Perdue created, and it's a $20 million facility, and it has a beautiful lake, and we also have a pass to get in there, again, free. which I haven't been. I'm not a fan, but I have heard it is pretty amazing as well. Trying to think if there's anything else. Can you think of anything we didn't mention in terms of those alternatives? Oh yes, we have a kilowatt reader. So if you want to know how you can save money on your electricity bill, we have a reader, and you can take it and you can plug it into different appliances and see what your kilowatt usage is and where you might cut money. Because a lot of people don't know, but like even if you're not using your microwave or your toaster oven, it being plugged in is still using energy. So we have something that will help you figure out where your most expensive items are if you can turn them off. The refrigerator you can't, sadly. But something to think about. We had a very successful passports. We also offer passport services. So you can come to the library to get your passport if you want to go to the Bahamas or something like that. We'll help you get situated to do that, or friends. We had a very successful summer reading program. Some of the programs that are associated with summer reading is kids could have gotten a free Braves ticket or a free Hawks ticket. Or was there anything else?
After the contest.
Oh, there is a contest to see a free museum, free play at the Center for Puppetry Arts, so you can see the museum and see a play. We also have a very active teen advisory board, and these teens volunteer all summer. I think their hours volunteered were close to 300, and there's 6 of them, which is very impressive for a teenager. And I think that's it. Was there anything else that we mentioned that you can remember that I might have forgotten to mention today?
They sure have an open house and some food for the
Yes.
commissioners to come out and tour.
I forgot, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was all in wild mind. But we do want to have a night where we open the library after hours just for the commissioners to come and tour the library, get your library card. I'm sure you all have library cards, but this would be a good chance to get one if you do not. But we're trying to think of a good date to do that. I don't know if that's something you guys can consider and maybe get to Mr. Hawk a list of dates that we can work from to set that up. We would have food and library stuff, which is awesome. Joan is in the process of doing a maker space, which is basically a freestyle creative area. We're targeting it towards children, but hopefully we would have that open that night so you guys can kind of see what kids are making, as well as puppets. We're going to have a little puppet area. So there's a lot of, and of course we have 16 computing stations. So if you haven't been in the new library, this would be a good chance just to tour it and meet the library staff and your library board members if you don't already know them, as well as for us to show off all the wonderful things we're doing there. So that's something we're going to try to do in the fall.
Yeah.
So we'll let you guys send us some dates and we'll work it out. Will that work? But we're super excited about it. Do you guys have any questions or concerns that, you want to share with either of us before we turn it over to your other very exciting business?
The state hasn't received any more funds for the library to be open.
No, what the state did this past year was actually very good for libraries such as ours. It hit single county systems harder, but we're a 4-county system. And so the new funding formula that they pushed through, the same amount of money that we've been getting from the governor, which has been less every year, but it's the same amount of money. They just reallocated it. So poorer, more rural systems such as ours, we actually did pretty well. That's how we're able to have Joan in your system or in your county full time now. One of the things we're looking at is we're doing a September usage study. So we're going to do hour by hour who's coming in, and we're also going to do a survey of customers online, and I'll drop those off for the county commissioner, for the county manager office also, where people actually tell us, if we can't record them coming if we're closed. So we're going to try to make sure that we give a survey where people can tell us their best times. And it might be when they're closed now. So where we would present those findings to the library board. And the goal would be to open for an additional 4 hours a week. We're at 28 hours a week now. So once we add those extra 4, we're at 32 hours. And hopefully we can keep adding on to that. Because like I said, with Joan being here in the county full time, that certainly gives us some more options. The trick is just because we have Joan for 40 hours. The library, safety issues, we have to have 2 people in the building anytime it's open. So that's kind of where we kind of have to gauge our resources and see how we can most effectively staff the library. But the goal is to get up to 40 hours, but we should be able to get to 32 by the end of October. We hope. That's a good question, because I forgot to mention these.
The old Hoopie Library Board, y'all in 4 counties or?
Yes, we're in 4 counties, but each county has their own library board, and from that library board, 2 members are selected to serve on the regional board. Currently, Dan Gaynor is the actual regional chair, so it's a pretty neat, prettier area. Gives you a little more sway.
Do they have the same amount of hours as we do?
Trying to think. Vidalia is open 44 hours a week. Reidsville and Glenville both 36 hours a week. Montgomery County is open 32 hours a week. Lyons is open 15 hours. This is a real test to see if I know. Lyons is open 15 hours a week, and Hazelhurst, of course, is 28. So you guys are towards the bottom of the number of open hours. But like I said, this year we're hoping to increase that. The minimum number of hours to classify as a branch library, which affects your state funding, is 30. So far, we've been getting a waiver, so the state hasn't really hit us for having branches open under that. But of course, you can't rely on them continuing that going forward. So our big goal is to make sure we get up to at least 32 hours this year and possibly even more hours in the future. So.
There have to be 2 at the time there, but 1 can be a volunteer.
No, it has to be 2 staff members.
2 staff members?
The state requires 2 paid library staff members to be for the library that size. So.
Library compared to others in the system, Vidalia is the only other large library.
Yeah, the only other library that has to have 2 staff members present is Vidalia. Every other library, the square footage isn't such that it requires it. So you guys have a beautiful new library, and it's big. We just have to figure out how to make sure that our manpower is properly used. And some of the things Joan will be doing is adding more programming, not just at the library, but also in the community, working with daycares and schools and community centers to try to take the programming to the public as well. So a lot of the time in rural areas, a big challenge, I'm sure you guys are familiar with this, but the big challenge is how to get people to the service. So we're trying to make sure the service, the library as a service, is available where people need it. And sometimes that might mean working with housing authorities, working with different community agencies to provide that kind of service on site. That's something we're looking at this coming year.
Do the other libraries give out passports too?
Vidalia does, and Hazelhurst.
We're the only ones
Right now with the county librarian model, we have a Chatham County librarian who just started teaching this August, and a Montgomery County librarian, we are getting them trained to offer passports, but it probably will be September before they're fully trained. Because we have to do training through the Department of State, and they have to certify us as agents. But it's $25 is what the library gets for providing the service. And of course, there's a $110 fee for an adult passport that's payable directly to the Department of State. But it saves people having to drive outside the county for that kind of service. Or
Yeah, I was worried about it. I didn't think nobody in this county provided that service.
we do
We're the
now.
only ones who provide that service.
How long have y'all been doing this?
We
3
started in April.
Yes.
It was in April.
They go advertise that?
We have in the paper, have we put it
I
in?
put it on
We
Facebook.
put it on Facebook,
And it's at the courthouse.
but maybe we could do another article
Oh,
in the paper to advertise that service.
One other question I leave alone. Do y'all take, if someone don't have a photo, do y'all take the photo there?
No, they would have to get that done before they come. We don't turn it in.
And go to CVS and get it and then come back across the street? Okay.
But if they give us a call, we can tell them everything they need to do.
Thank you.
Anybody else got anything? We do appreciate the update, appreciate the color.
Well, thank you so much for having us, and if there's anything I can do,
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, Wayne Murphy request for a road name change. That's in your package. Looks to me like it was just a miss.
Misprint.
Misspelled.
Right.
Instead of a lane, it's a road.
Well, they misspelled the name.
They messed it up.
Real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said Google had it right now, so it must have been listed now correctly the way it's spelled. And, so Gary is going to get in touch with 911 and have, we're gonna make it a road on both ends. It's a drive on one end, a road on the other, and those don't even match each other. But he has the correct spelling. And 911 is gonna make the signs and the road department put them up, and I think everybody will be happy.
We need to vote for that or not?
I really think so, because we're not doing anything to correct some of our stuff.
Okay, Mr. Charles Ross.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, gentlemen. I've come to you tonight just to give you an update on where we're at as far as the proposed new fire stations. We proposed 3 new stations, and as of today, we purchased the land for 2 of them. One of them, the one that's going to be in the Blackburn district, it is, they're right there working today on getting actually getting where the building will go. We're trying to get that done, get it set so that we have that available whenever we're ready to do something. The other one out there at the Town's Bluff, the land I believe has been purchased. Not clear yet if Mr. Rowland's going to clear the trees off of it. That was something we talked to him about. They were going to thin those trees anyway. So we talked to him about just taking all the trees off the back while they're out there. So got back with him on that yet to see what the time frame is on that. If we want to do that, then we can put the driveway in and prepare that side. We have yet to obtain the land for the one out there on 268. We know about the area we want to go, we just haven't got around to obtaining, trying to get with someone about the land. So we're moving forward. My question is, I need some guidance on where we want to go from here. Once we've got the land purchased on 2 of them, and we're trying to get the sites prepped and ready to go. Then we got to decide where we want to go from there. As far as, so I'd like to set a time frame on when we want to put these stations in. We have about 3 more years, 3.5 years now before ISO comes back in again. And I think some of y'all have been getting a lot of phone calls about people's insurance going up in those areas. Some of those folks in the past have skirted. They've been able to skirt in there and get the better rating. And now with this new ISO framework, it's just throws them completely out. So you got people's insurance going up to double or more in those areas. Some of the areas, those folks they've been a 10 for years, so it's just going to be a blessing to them once we do it. But you got some people that have been a better class and now they went to a 10. So those are the ones probably calling left and right. I know they're calling me and they're calling the insurance agent, and we're riding, making sure that ISO is right, but for the most part, they're pretty close. We've had one that wrote a letter today on that was dead in the middle, 5 miles in front of their house. ISO showed them as a 10. We got that. I'm going to challenge that and see if I can get that one back down to where it was at. But I have the ability to challenge it if it's within 5 miles. So I wrote a challenge letter on that one. To date, I think in the last 3 years, I've wrote somewhere around 170 challenge letters. So that shows you what's happened over the last several years. Since this ISO change started in 14, so basically, we've had 25 letters to write over the last year and a half. So, but I need some guidance from y'all where you want to go, how you want to do it.
Roughly what do it cost to put one of these stations in?
I think I met with y'all, back I think in March of this year, I met and give you a cost analysis on what we thought it was going to be. Basically looking at the Blackburn station itself, looking at about $25,500 for the building. That's to concrete the building and set it. About $11,500 to try to complete the inside of it. And that includes heating, electrical and plumbing. Now, that station is kind of unique over the other two, because it's gonna be a voting precinct as well. So if you catch that building in a major voting year, there is grant money available to help with pavement, bathrooms, anything to do with handicap. I mean, you can get money through the federal government to help you with those type of projects. But you need to catch that on a good year, I mean, a year that you'll have an election. You're more apt to get the funding in those years than you are not. And then also, the engine and the equipment, I figured anywhere from $35,000 to $55,000 to buy an engine and equipment to go in there. Now, I'm going to apply for a grant that's coming up here to help us with breathing apparatus. If we get it, that'll kind of help me, because I can take the old apparatus and just buy a new cylinder and shift all those to those new stations. So a breathing apparatus is about $6,000. So if I can get the grant, I mean, we can cut that $6,000 out pretty much. But you gotta have 4 on each truck. That's quite a bit of money just for that item itself. So, well, that's kind of, we're gonna prep. Obviously, the Blackburn site's gonna be prepped first, and it's ready. It'll be ready to go whenever we're ready. Then the other 2 sites we have to prep them as we get the, first of all, 2 C stands, we get the land, and then the town's bluff station, as we get everything cleared, we can get in there. County can get in there and do something. It'll be much easier if we can get them to cut trees, and us try to go in there, and us have to go in there and completely take everything down.
Trees, probably 3-4 inches round.
That's right, relatively small.
It ain't. All right. With the Alma Hall, then we got Alma Hall 1. What can we do for the people over in Hallsburg area? If we put up a building, do we have to have a building with a well?
We just gotta have a building with an engine in it.
Okay. Or what if we put a tank?
They just gotta have an engine.
Gotta have an engine.
Every station has to have an engine in it.
All right, we got 3 at Alma Hall. Can we move one, or would that hurt Alma Hall?
I got 1 engine and 2 tankers.
That's right.
So I don't have any engines to put in these 3 stations. It's got to buy used engines automatically. That's a given. We're going to have 3 used engines to do this. Because ISO is now, you have to have a minimum of 750 gallons per minute pump for them to even break. So you've got to have an engine, and you got to be able to carry all the ISO and NFPA 1500 equipment on that engine for it to be classified, and for us to get, get a certification, a certificate from the standard training says this station is operational.
Well, I talked to Mike about that land, and he talked like he let us have it. So, on 268, that
Yes.
was land. But we got to make sure it ain't gonna be in the way of his pivot, because it's in the
Right.
pivot land. But, I talked to him about it, so we'll try to work that in.
And that's the perfect spot. It's sitting right where it needs to sit. That's the good thing about these 3 stations, they're gonna sit right where they need to sit. And we're gonna maximize our coverage.
What's the cost of the other 2?
The other 2, now these were figures I got like a year ago. This was built about a year ago. About 16 acres for the building, about 3,500 to complete the inside, and again, 35,000 to 55,000 for the truck and equipment going in. Well, those stations are just 1 bay, put a heater in it, a couple of plug-ins, and a couple of lights overhead, and a light outside, and that's all you need for that station. Because those are substations off of stations that we already have existing. You just wind this out.
Run up with any engine, anywhere you mean.
I haven't started looking yet, really, because, those type of things when you, an engine, a used engine, when you find a good one, you need to be ready to buy it.
Right then.
Because if you don't, you're gonna lose it, because they're gone quick. They don't last long. But we just, we can set some type of time frame together. We may not have all 3 of these stations built, and the probability we won't have all 3 of them built by the time I set them back, but we can start, we know where the largest areas are at. I mean, obviously, the Blackburn district is the largest one, it is in the 10. And then the Alma Hall, you've got a lot there, and then you've got a good bit of, the least amount of homes is gonna be at 268. But the Blackburn and the And the Towns Bluff are the two that have the most people living in them right now that are in the 10.
Charles and I have been down to Afton and talked with Lee, and they've had a meeting and they voted to do it. And I reckon the only thing I can say is through the crack of not getting pushed on through. I called Lee last week, and then he was gonna be out Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I called him back this morning and talked with him, told him that he would sign it, that Charles would be one to come pick it up today. And he said that each commissioner there, that's a mutual agreement between Graham and us, would have to sign it. He would have to sign it, the chairman had to sign it, then it would come to us. Charles wrote it, but we don't know. He sent it over to the county attorney, and I think he kept it a pretty good while before. So we don't really know if he changed the one that Charles wrote or not, because we have to do, one of us has seen it since he got it back. And then it'll have to come to us, and each one of us will have to sign it, and then he can send it in. He told me if nothing went wrong, he'd have it by Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning for us to pick it up.
It's about 5 pages, and it's a standard automatic gate agreement that, I mean, that most of the state fire marshal offices have agreed to it. I mean, everybody just went through this. It's a standard one that's used all over the state of Georgia. There's a mutual aid and automatic aid, two different things. We have a mutual aid agreement with everybody around us, but we have an automatic aid agreement we will have. We did have, at one time, an automatic aid agreement with Graham, but since now, City of Graham does not have ownership of the fire department, it has to go back through the process of Akron County. It's now Jeff Davis County and Akron County agreement instead of us agreeing with the City of Graham. So that took completely into a different area. So we're right back to square one. We've got to get this in. Once we get this in, it'll take probably about 4 months for processing, for it to go through them to approve it, and then it actually make it into the, what they call the system that is actually put out there for all the insurance companies. So the process will take about 4 months once we get it. And once I get it and I send it on to Paul at ISA, probably 4 months before we see any relief. The bad thing is those folks that are paying a higher premium, they're gonna have to wait until the next time that they pay the premium before they get the better premium. Because the insurance company will not, most of them will not refund you money. They're gonna wait until you renew the next year before they'll process it. Even if we get today, we'll have some people for at least another 3 or 4 months. But at least we can get it in place. But that's another picture. We can get that. We've got that area, that end of Auburn Hall covered. This station will cover the other end. So we have the whole area of Auburn Hall coming back to Hazelhurst over the Towns Bluff area. We'll have everything will be covered. Every home out there, everything on the north side of the town will be covered completely. And we'll only have a few areas out in the south side that we got to cover. And those stations will cover about 98% of it.
So basically what you want from the board, us, is when the land is prepped, start building, basically.
If we can do it, just a time frame. If we can't build a building for another 8, 10, 12 months, let's just kind of set a target. We want to try to build this station here. And the one at Towns Bluff, it may be a no-brainer if we get the funds from the state. We've been pushing the state hard to get some funds out there. There's a possibility we may get up to $25,000 from the state. If we get that, at least we can build a building and start working towards truck load. It probably be better for us to go ahead and make that our first station if that happens. But if that doesn't happen, we probably need to try to concentrate on the one out at Black Rock if we have to do it without any state.
Well, I talked with him Wednesday, and he said that it was not out, it was in 3 or 4 different pots. Good chance that not to go ahead and get the land ready, and we'll see.
So that's a possibility, we can get that station, still cost the county taxpayers a little bit of money, but it would be a lot less than doing the whole thing. So, but that's kind of the things we're looking at. If that money comes in, we move in that direction. If not, maybe we need to move towards Blackburn District area and try to work on that. It's just kind of, just looking at some time frame from y'all, when y'all want to try to, you know, I'd like to build all three of them tomorrow if you let me, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
The land prep is ready, is it ready out there?
Capital up? No, sir.
But if we bought it, it's been paid for, the survey and everything. And, Mr. Jerry said that, he had a logger come in and cut some more and didn't know that they would even take that, but that he would go in and let them cut it and get it out of the way. And I told him when he got ready to move in, to let us know that we'd go ahead, Charles come out, and we'll decide where we're gonna put it, and put the driveway in where they can come off. So that's one of the reasons we bought it, what we did. We got the right to join Philadelphia Church Road, but you can't do that to a state highway. So we bought it where we can, and that's where they'll come in and out and clear. If they was to come up with the money, we could have it ready even if we had to move in ourselves. All I'm saying, we gotta do is dig them all up, pile them up, burn them, and everything else, the vehicle, go ahead and get them out of the way.
How much land you talking about?
Later.
And that piece of property don't need any well set tank or anything, it's just a building set there. That's kind of where we're at right now. And, like I said, we be thinking about it, you know, we need to kind of get a time frame on what we want to do, and try to set the target and everything. You know, complete them, and at one point I'll start looking for, you know, used trucks, and if we find good used trucks, that's the time to grab them, at that point, get them. Because they're not easy to find, good ones that are usable. You can find junk fire trucks all day long, but find one that you want to put out there, serves the community, you have to look for them. So, any questions? Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Charles.
Next, to approve, deny resolution adopting the policy governing public works. All y'all have that in your packet.
Oh, I read over it from John's request at the last meeting, and, you know, my only thing, I didn't see anything that go wrong with it, it's pretty straightforward, is we don't have a public works department, we have a road department, but we don't have a public works. So I can either change it to road department, or let's say road superintendent, or y'all create a public works, which I just suggest just change it to road department. But as far as the actual things contained in the resolution, I thought it was fine. I didn't see anything jump out.
Other works be water surge
I
and
think the city has to go.
ours is road.
Yeah, it's called the road department. So, what you can do if you want to is you can go ahead and make a motion to approve based on the changes. That way you don't have to come back, and that way I can just, once they get drafted, just give Mr. Chairman and Ms. Clerk their signature.
All right,
And
yeah,
then they'll-
offer that motion that we approve it. Any of the changes.
Let's get on the changes to the road department on
All vote. Any opposed? Next, you have the, applications on the recreation department. We have a lot of applications. All of them would probably do the job, but the problem is we only need two.
I tell you, been here a good while, this is the first time we've ever had this many good ones and people to, or even had this many at all, and then all of them be involved in it. And everything.
We want to go and just, you already know, Keith is trying to get real. We want to take care of that right now.
He has another term he can serve, and he is, still got paperwork.
Yeah, he's asked to serve.
Need a motion?
Oh,
second
I'll second it.
to appoint Chief Ray for another term. All voting. Probably need one more.
Need to keep in mind that we need to get somebody that's active with the rec department. You know, that goes out to the games, has kids is playing, that's what I look at. Someone that has a passion for it.
I don't think that there's anything we got.
That doesn't have a passion
Doesn't
for
have
it.
one. That's bringing the coaches, got to go down to coaches and got kids to play. Just the swimming team, don't just do swimming. And I don't know this, Torres, I reckon that's a haven out.
She, works at the hospital. And she's on the
Right here
lifeguard.
close to it. She's
Right
got
across
kids
the street.
playing.
She has two kids involved with it, and she speaks Spanish.
She's bilingual.
That would be
Plus,
a plus for the many Hispanics we got a lot. That's y'all see.
said he should, yeah.
But personally, I think Chuck would be really good. But I'm not against any of them.
We need a
Valid
motion.
qualified.
We need a motion for one. We'll go with.
Coaches and the team on the weekend. I think he'd be a good one. Like I said, all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
I need a second. All vote. One vote. Oh, you voted. You ready?
I don't know.
Are you opposed?
Yes.
And y'all repeat back.
They all voted except.
I'll vote it, so thank you.
Opposed.
Who made the motion? Who did say?
Roach made a motion, I seconded it. And
I just wish we could give it all.
I do too.
Well, there be some more coming up next year.
next year, I think 2 or 3 have to come on, I think, out of 2 years. 2 terms, 2
You
years.
got it? Next, to approve or deny GMAS mapping contract.
We got it, some others on the, later on down there, got some more. Are we going to continue that now that we got a chief appraiser, have the outside help, with GMAS on, doing the appraisal of the houses and all? The last number that I got, and they may have a new contract.
$43,000.
Yeah, $43,050. The contract that we have in this office said that it started on January of 2010, and the first year, it was a charge of $70,550. The second year, $43,050, and the third year would be $43,050, and that would have ended in 2012. And we don't have one if it was redone in 13, and I don't know if we're paying that more now. If we got one that's 13, 14, and 15, do you know if we have a?
Yes, sir. The current contract is up in October of this year, and we're meeting with GMAS on Wednesday morning to look at options for whether we're going to continue it, at what level we're going to continue it. This is just the mapping portion of that. We started using them last year. Before that, we were paying almost $11,000 for the same service. So they've cut it almost in half over what it used to be. And this is simply the mapping of the different areas.
Just the different areas, and when someone cuts out a portion of an area, and with all the years that I was over there, Miss Kathy was the mapper. And, you know, if you had a mountain parcel number and somebody give an acre or bought 10 acres off from it, then she would go there and cut it out until Paul started doing it. And don't know what year that was in, but.
The contract used to be with Southern Surveying Services,
Yes, that's Paul.
and that one was for $10,595. It switched over to GMAS in 2014 to do the same thing.
There is a contract, you say?
Pardon me, sir?
There is a contract with you?
Yes, sir. It's a 1-year contract
That's what
for the mapping portion of it.
For mapping?
Yes, sir. As far as appraisal and that type of thing, that we meet with them on Wednesday to look at additional options and whatever changes we can do with them.
Okay, so the one that with GMAS about doing the appraisal comes in October.
That will come to you in October, yes, sir.
Okay.
Or next month,
The
September.
one that, the mapping that
Is before.
is January.
Yes, sir.
Okay, January of 2016 is when we have to have a new one.
Is that the is that when this new contract goes into effect?
This contract goes into effect this month.
Why did it start in January? Where, do you know where the other contract is? The contract where we signed another contract with GMAS in 2013, 14, and 15?
That one is over there. I don't have access to it right now. You all don't have a copy of it.
All right, and
I've
so,
got 2014, it's for the same amount.
It's for the same amount on a mapping contract. That's all we're talking about tonight is mapping.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do have that one here, that is the same.
I'm talking about, I know we got mapping on tape here. I'm talking about GMAS.
Okay?
There's a contract over there that has been signed by the Board of Commissioners
Yes, sir.
for 2013, 14, and 15.
Yes.
It goes to the end of December,
No, sir. It goes to the end of
October.
September.
September, okay.
Yes, sir.
October 1st
Yes.
is when it, all right. Then the mapping starts when?
The mapping contract will start this month in August. And it will start putting in items that are in 2016 that come in for 2016, and it'll go through the next digest year.
All right, do you know how much the GMAS contract that we're paying right now?
It's right around $42,000 or $43,000 a year.
That's additional to the map?
No, sir, that's not part of the mapping.
That's what I'm saying.
Additional.
Additional.
6,400 you say here? 250. That's $48,250 additional of what that we have, that we pay the office or the help in the office now, correct?
I don't know what the next contract will be like. We've asked them to come in on Wednesday and bring additional options for us, bring us an à la carte. Instead of just saying we're gonna pay you this much every year to do all of these services, we've asked them to come back and show us, if you use this service, this is what it's gonna be. If you use this service, this is what it's gonna be, and so on. We think we can reduce the amount for the regular GMAS appraisal contract significantly, which is why we're looking at it like that. But that's not until Wednesday, so I can't tell you what they're coming back with. I have not seen it yet.
Well, what y'all's been there, mine is to table it till we find out what the cost is going to be for the GMAS and for the, mapping. So we see exactly how much we're going to be obligating ourselves for.
Just a motion, y'all.
That's the motion I'm on.
I'll second it.
All vote. All vote. We got to have it.
Got what?
I said, we got to have it if it starts this month.
He's gonna meet with them. Yeah.
Next, to approve, deny,
Before we
NR.
go, just as you
Yes,
said,
sir.
used to, that we use Southern Survey.
Pardon me, sir?
Used to, we use Southern Survey
Yes,
for
sir.
this same thing.
Yes, sir.
Have we asked or got a bid from anybody else besides
Not at
GMAS
this
on
point in time, no. The last contract with Southern Surveyor, like I said, was $10,595.
Right, yes,
This is pretty close to half of that, or almost half, which is why they went with them last year,
yes.
and why we're proposing going with them again this year. For the ones that I spoke to down in Jekyll, their prices were going to be close to around the same $11,000, $12,000 a year is what they were talking about based on the number of parcels that we have. So when that came up, that looks like probably the best that we're going to be able to find.
Right. So you did talk to some other people?
Yeah, I spoke to several of them.
Okay.
There were 3 of them, I think, at Jekyll Island, and I talked to all of them.
Okay.
We had put it up till we got Southern Surveyors.
Yes, sir.
We never had anybody.
I can't answer that, sir, because I wasn't here then. But they did it for several years, from what I understand. You were on the board.
I was
then.
on the
You were
board,
probably-
and we didn't have anybody, but then that's been a while too.
Right.
But, what we need to do is just find out.
Technology has changed so much with satellites and what have you, that if you don't have the necessary equipment to download from the satellite, you're back to trying to draw it by hand, and then you get into a lot of errors.
Yes.
So I would urge you all to pass it tonight. The other part for the GMAS contract, like I said, I can't tell you where it's going to go. That's why they're coming in on Wednesday morning, and instead of just saying we want to continue the contract that we have, we've asked them for several more options, which include an à la carte method of saying, if we need this service from you, how much is it going to cost? If we need this service from you, how much is it going to cost? Then we're going to look at it and see what we can do in-house versus what we can do giving them to do, and go from there. Trying to do the best we can for everybody.
Don't have any more questions? On this?
I don't know all the surrounding counties if they use somebody else or not. I don't know what they do.
Talking about 2 different things anyway. Talking about this mapping contract, we're talking about
GMAS.
GMAS. Yeah. I mean,
If that's the cheapest on the mapping,
I'd like to. That's the cheapest, they don't want to do it, I mean, I don't know how we're gonna do it better anyway.
And it needs to be done for this month.
That service is provided by the same company. GMAS provides both services, right?
Yes, sir. There's Wind Gap, which is owned by one section of, it's gone right now. The husband of GMAS is owned by the wife, but it all comes from the same thing.
I make a motion to rescind it. I think these ain't got quotes, and they the lowest quote, I think we go ahead and do it.
I need a motion. He made the motion, I need a second.
So I'll second.
Then all vote rescinded. Wayne opposed?
Yeah. Because I mean, I don't know how the people there at the trade show or down at Jekyll Island would know how much we have to do, or how many splits that we usually have, because usually when you call somebody and tell them they want to know how many you've had for the last 3 years, or, and this, that, and the other, so I don't know really how somebody could say, you know, well, we want 10,000, we want 18,000, or whatever.
It based it on the number of parcels that we have in the county, sir.
We rescinded it, so now we go back and revote.
You just did.
We just did.
Well, no, you rescinded one to turn it around, but now don't you have a motion, have to have a motion and a second to approve?
I need a motion to approve now the ER or GMAS mapping contract. I need a motion to go on with the contract.
I make a motion to approve.
I need a second. All vote. Wayne opposed. Next, to approve or deny E&R for Howard Hotel Atlanta. That's in the packet. Mr. Dave, I can explain it.
It's a simple duplication. There's a receipt attached to where it was paid once before. There's no reason for the duplication. It was brought to the attention and it was corrected.
So I need a motion to approve it. I need a second. Mr. Jerry second, all vote.
Before we move on to the next item, we've got one of these left from last month. Wyatt, Brandon and Wayne had some questions on it from before. Take that up now.
On him, we have billed, let me pull it. and get it. White Brandon, he has been paying it, there's a line drawn here on mine, and I reckon that, that's the year that it started. Do you have a copy of it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On Barney Road, if you do not file an appeal or make a return that you don't agree with it, then you do not forfeit all your rights once you have paid for it.
No, sir. Not according to the state statute,
Okay.
which was discussed quite at length down at Jekyll Island for some 20 minutes. Basically, what they're saying now, where taxes are concerned, property taxes are concerned, if an owner finds that a mistake was made, where it's our mistake, as in the assessor department's mistake, if they find out within 3 years of paying the last payment, they're entitled to a refund. He has not paid this past year, but he has paid everything up until that point in time. Did Gary give you a
Yeah.
copy of the statute?
Not the statute he did. But now, all right, so did he get 3 years?
No,
Or does
sir,
he go all the way
it
back?
doesn't say how far back you can go. It just says that he has to find a mistake within 3 years of paying the last payment. In other words, if he paid everything up And 5 years down the road, he said, you know what, I shouldn't have paid that. Then he doesn't get anything back because that's over 3 years. But he still had, this was something that was talked about down there over and over and over. And the people from the Georgia Department of Revenue said, yes, but this is what the statute now reads, and you have to go back. Which seems fair. It's unfortunate that everybody does not know how the appeal system works and and the process of filing a return. And maybe as a board, we should try and do something more about that at the end of the year to tell people that they need to file and that they need to file a return so that we don't have the issues that we have every year and do what needs to be done. But most people they get a tax bill, they pay it.
All right, so he has paid it.
Yes, sir.
Since he transferred it for 8 years, is that correct?
Basically, yes, sir. The only year that was not paid was last year.
Yeah.
And I checked that with the tax collector's office this afternoon, or this morning. And it has been corrected in the system. This is basically the piece of property here. When they used to draw the maps by hand, it shows 3 parcels. When the survey was done, before it started going in where it was done electronically, it was cut into 2. That's how it came up with the 3 parcels in the system, because of the overall area. So it's, with the new deals, anytime you have something surveyed, you have to turn in a CD-ROM disk with the survey on it, which plugs into the system, which helps a lot with the mapping end of it also. And I have a copy of the survey if you'd like to see that also.
So he's wanting to refund the $366.03.
I think that's what he's looking for, yes, sir.
Right.
$366, it goes back, how many years are we paying back?
Until it goes back to 06.
$30-something a year.
And y'all are saying it with y'all's mistake.
Yes, sir. Going back to 06.
This kind of mistake, I make a motion for fund money.
I need a second. All vote. Next, to approve, deny Chief Appraiser Salary. So we've been doing this pretty good bit. I'm gonna go ahead and speak my point, but my point don't make a whole lot. But I've had a lot of people that talk to me about this situation, wanting to know what it was about. A few months back, when we did the budget, we signed on the budget for a tax appraiser 3 for $4,500. That makes me think that
$45,000.
$45,000. It makes me think that that's what we agreed to pay them. Well, $45,000.
No, depending on how long they've been appraised 3 and been a chief appraiser and everything else. But go ahead.
That don't have nothing to do with the budget.
The budget, we didn't ever even set that salary in the budget at
But
all.
it's sad.
That is there because we rolled it over from last year, the budget over. You said we set that salary.
Well, we said it because we agreed to.
No, we was taking and going to hire somebody, so you gotta put some money in there if you're gonna hire somebody.
Right.
and we had told them then that it all depends upon the qualification, how long they've been a chief appraiser, and all that, but go ahead. Yeah.
But, and I might be the dumb one here. But if I worked over there for 22, to be 23 years, and I did the work that the chief appraiser was getting paid to do for the last several years, in the last 8 to 9 months, and she's picked up stuff that he had missed, I think that's all the experience anybody can get.
Her,
23
G-Man.
years. Well, she's over there. She's fine. I mean, you can say who wants to, but she's okay. I mean, I had no problem. I went around probably 5, 6 months ago when all this got started. And all I could hear was when she gets her appraiser free, then we might hire her. Well, she's got probably more certificates over in any appraiser in the surrounding state of Georgia that she has went to school and she has passed and she has done, and to me,